that. So we come here and say, hey, live listeners. Last week I had a little bit of fun doing a solo show, and I like the idea of trying to get more live people at least to like talk to us, inject some content to the show kind of thing. So moving forward, I'm going to try to do this. I published, if you look at the YouTube notes right in the description, or as some YouTubers say, the boobity boo. If you look in the boobity boo, you'll see a link to stuff, which is all of the news articles, hardware articles, and app articles I saw since the last recording. And if you want us to talk about any of them, you can just drop a link right here in the YouTube chat and we'll see it and we can chat about it. And if you guys think that there's something else that the show can do in general, all you gotta do is just let us know. Because, you know, that's what we do.
Like actually do a regular show?
Well, we can. I mean, you know, if they ask, I guess really nice. Okay. Everything looks like it's working.
Blame.
Okay, so this is 567, brought to you by Mark Surratt. No, because I didn't do 566 because I'm an idiot. Okay, so yeah, 567 is Mark Surratt. Ivor, do you want to do the intro?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, 567 Mark Surratt. Now, let me come back here and do the transition.
Okay. Welcome to Android App Addicts, everybody. This is episode 567. I'm talking to you directly from the country of New Zealand, where it is a beautiful day here today. And I am live with the door-to-door geek, Steve McLaughlin, and my Canadian host, Josh Dennis. Dennis? Penis? What's your last name?
Dennis will work.
Dennis. Just wanted to be sure how to pronounce that. How you doing, Dor?
I'm doing good. I'm definitely in a lot less pain than I was in the last couple months. It's miraculous. You actually listen to a doctor and it seems like things actually get better. Who knew?
Fantastic. That's good to hear, mate. And you, Josh, how's the family been?
It's been expanding within our home, so it's been interesting. We'll just leave it at that.
Your family's expanding.
Yeah, well,
is that a news announcement? We're having another one.
The in-laws moved in into.
That's right. Yes, that's right. You've got so the in-laws, and you had to put in a doing that and everything too. Sorry, it's been a while.
Yeah, true, but it's good to have you back. But we also like to thank Eric Sarah for sponsoring this episode of Android App Addicts. And if you want
I was just about to get to that. Thanks, Dor. Eric Sarah. Yes, he's our sponsor today. Thank you very much. Where does Eric come from?
Mark. He's the watch.
Eric, not Mark. Eric, not Mark. Mark, not Eric.
Watch face guy.
Watch face guy. And where's he from? Do we know?
I believe he's from America. I think he might be from Southeastern, maybe, possibly. Like Carolina, possibly, I think.
Never been there. Hopefully one day I will. Anyway, this is Android App Addicts. So we talk about some apps. What do you got for us in the news, Dor?
Well, I'll say this in the news. I'm okay with starting with I'll just say hot news topic kind of thing. The first thing is I had to mention Podcast Addict. And I understand anybody out there who has mixed feelings. I understand anybody out there who gets nervous and sketchy when you hear this kind of thing, but it's the kind of thing that's going to happen sooner or later, no matter what anybody thinks, wants, feels, or believes. Xavier, the creator of Podcast Addict, decided that he's going to add a subscription model for users, okay, to where you can opt in straight from the app to donate $1 a month, or I think it was $10 a year if you go for a year at a time. I understand anybody who feels vexed about such a thing. At the same time, I don't care what you think. I got the new version of the app, and guess what? Nothing changed. I didn't even know the subscription was there if I didn't go looking for it. So, anybody complaining about this, in my humble opinion, is literally sitting on the sidelines, not interacting with any other piece of software or anything else. And if you don't want to give him money, don't. At the same token, don't complain about your podcast player of choice not fulfilling your needs. Okay. I'm going to happily, I already donate $1 a month to him on Patreon. I'm going to donate another $1 a month to him through the app because I get that much usage out of this application is my, belief.
I agree 100%, Door. As soon as I saw that this was a possibility, I donated or started the subscription, which in Canada is actually $1.29 a month or $13.99 or $12.99 a year. But yeah, it's well worth it. I mean, I use that app more than all my other apps combined by easily. So yes, I would again to just sort of piggyback what you said about the subscription model. When it first came out, I was really opposed to it when, you know, the Microsoft Office suite went to it and Adobe and just every other software suite has now gone to the subscription. It's hard to just buy a product outright anymore, it seems. But for something like this, I'm totally on board.
Yeah, I mean, I think the developer makes a big difference. You look at Pocket Casts, which is the app that I was using for a long time. That had a lot of functionality. It was developed by some Australians, was taken over by NPR and quickly went to crap. And so when I switched to Podcast Addict, I thought, oh, instantly, this is so much nicer app. It has a lot more features and functionality, and it's something you can spend a bit of time with, going through finding new podcasts and things like that. I just really liked it. So when I saw this article from Dory, I just first thing I did was sign up for the subscription. So now I just got to have to listen to all the podcasts that I've haven't caught up on the last couple of
Oh,
weeks.
the worst thing you can do is fall behind in podcasts. It's a very bad feeling. And the reason I was really against, to go into a pigeonhole, the reason I was really against the Office 365 thing and the Adobe thing was there wasn't fair and equitable competition in that field. If you were
Mm.
using Office products, you had no choice. You had to use that Office product. If you were using Dreamweaver, there's a lot of other applications that say they can compete with Dreamweaver, but to be quite honest, they can't. Same thing with Photoshop. There's only one Photoshop. Um, the main reason I'm okay with paying a subscription to this is there's so much competition out there when it comes to podcast players. Whether you're still on Dogcatcher, whether you use Antenna Pod, or whether you're still suffering with Pocket Cast, there's always choices out there. At least today.
Well, and then
Yeah,
within Podcast Addicts as well, there's so many choices. I don't know that I have any other apps on my phone that have so many configuration options as that app.
yeah, and that's the thing. It's the developer is actually cares about his product, and he's going to deliver a great product, whether you pay anything for it or not. So the people like us who appreciate a good product will actually give him money for it, to say, hey, this is a really good app. We really enjoy using it, and we want to make sure you continue developing it. Um, I don't feel that way about Pocket Casts, and I
Right.
don't think I ever
Well,
will.
and I'll say I do believe Podcast Addict has no feature, not a single feature behind a paywall. Everything you pay for is merely to support him. If there
Mm.
is a feature behind a paywall, please let me know. I love it when I'm proven wrong because it gives me the opportunity to learn something. Hi, I'm Door Geek. I'm not like other people.
No, there's not, Door, and there's nothing behind a paywall, and even I'm pretty sure that he kept the other model as well of just give a one-time payment to remove the ads.
Right.
And so that's the only difference between the free and the paid version is there's an ad banner.
Right. Well, there was another news topic we were going to jump in, but first I wanted to interject what I would consider to be a less important news article and something we'll get over quicker. And that is a collection of photos of their Surface Duo in the wild that was purposely leaked out in the open. They did it on purpose from Microsoft themselves, showing pictures off of what the Duo looks like. And then a couple independent journalist kind of sites got examples of the hardware, but the screens were instead transparent glass, which of course that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? I have such mixed feelings about this piece of hardware. I'll just put it like that. I don't have to worry about it because it's not going to be successful because it's $1,400. You know, they might sell 100,000 of these in the entire world if they're lucky. But I will say either way, it is still an interesting device. I am fascinated at they're still making a selling feature that there's two individual screens with a negative space down the middle where the fold is. They're making that a selling feature.
Yeah, what's your reaction to the new phone, Josh?
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like it would be good for reading ebooks, where you'd have like you can have that bifold, solid, tangible book feel, and you could read one page and then over the and swipe to the next page. But other than that, it looks like it. I don't know, man. It's $1,400. No thanks. I'm out.
Yeah, $1,400. Doesn't have NFC either, does it? You can't.
I don't believe it does.
Google Pay or anything like that. Which
and
is a big problem for me.
And to me, it just seems too tiny. There was a color e-ink e-paper thing that was just released. There was a foldable e-ink thing that was just released that is like, tablet sized almost. To have this device be foldable and then when it's opened up, it's still so lacking. I mean, because if you take a look at the pictures that are leaked, when the people are holding it in their hands, it is not a large device at all. I mean, this is still like 3 times smaller than your netbook screen. So I don't see when it's expanded, you get really any true added functionality that you'll be comfortable with looking at for more than 3 minutes, maybe.
Are you talking about the other? You sent me the link of the. It was like a sheet of paper, basically.
Yeah, that was the e-ink one. Yeah, that one to me could be usable or functional, even if the bezels are like 1.5 inches.
But that was also $400 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, with e-ink, it was $400.
My cheeky comment.
Yeah.
Sorry, my cheeky comment on that was, what's wrong with the piece of paper?
Well, with the e-ink display that was foldable, you could actually open up a PDF and annotate right on top of it and save it as a single document, which I thought was kind of cool for like technical documents. No, you can't open up a PDF on a piece of paper. You absolutely can't. Unless you want to spend hundreds of dollars on a printer and then every 3 months spend
I can get a piece of paper and a pen and I can
toner.
write on it. That's my annotation. I can write on a piece of paper and I can
Not on
save
a
it by
PDF.
putting it in a folder.
Yeah.
Well, then I can scan it to a PDF, I suppose.
Then you have to have a printer and a scanner.
Then
Now you're spending even more. The only thing I have with moving parts that I put up with is my 3D printer. Every printer I've ever had, either the heads dry out or something goes wrong where it dies early, except for an HP LaserJet 4, which I had for about 10 years. That thing worked like a racehorse until, of course, shot it in the head. But that was good.
I don't know. I think we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what hacks people come up with for the Duo.
Oh, then there's gonna be no hacks for it.
It'll be 5 seconds before someone puts Linux on it.
No, there's not.
Right.
No, it is extremely difficult to put Linux on a Microsoft Surface, and when you do, half the stuff doesn't work. This is going to be even more locked down. I have no problem saying that. Now, the Neo, I would say, would have more of a possibility, and that's the Chromebook-like. device.
that's the bigger one. That's the netbook. But with the Duo, I would have thought being an Android device, you would still have
Eh,
that accessibility. I don't know.
maybe 10 years ago, but in 2020, the amount of phones that are ROMable has diminished, is the way that I'll put it.
Yes, yes, that was evident even back in 2011. Yeah, they don't like carriers don't like people hacking the phones or
Right.
rooting them or anything like that. So
Yeah. So
mm,
now to jump to the last news topic, I'm going to do it backwards though, if that's okay. There is a flood of apps that have been coming out from India. Um, this is an example of one in the chat. It's called Do Do Drop, which I'm sorry, I love the name. Um, so in the long and the short of it is, there's been a number of apps. We here in the United States keep hearing about TikTok might be banned, TikTok might be banned, TikTok might be banned, whatever. In India, they've banned, I want to say it's over 90 applications from their app store. Thus, you have Indian developers, typically they're like between 17 and 20 years old, that are finding their app is no longer accessible. So let me just develop my own version of it. Here's an example of one that they said replaced one of the apps that was banned. It's called Do Do Drop Secure File Transfer. Right in the title, it says Made in India. So they're literally putting that flag up to their country, telling them that this is safe to use because this is not Chinese. Made by Doodoo Inc. Productivity app, 922 reviews, for everyone, completely free to install. No in-app ads, no in-app purchases. 4.0 average reviews. Updated August 11th, 2020. 12 megs in size. 10,000 plus installs. Current version 11. Wow. All you need is 5.0 Android and up. Content rating for everyone. Permission levels. It's going to need location, phone, photo, storage, camera, Wi-Fi, device, and a couple other ones. But this is part of a broader issue. And the word trust, I firmly, honestly believe, is an incredibly hard word to actually define, because everybody takes it as meaning something else in the world. But it comes down to India is now not trusting China. The question is, does anybody else? Should anybody else? And if it is changing, how long will it last? I don't know.
well, we're seeing China drift further and further away from the West. I think it's only a matter of time before we. Oh, I think we've got it already. It's basically the Chinese version of Android versus the Western version of Android, and I think it's there to stay.
Well, I'll say everybody thought in 1918 the world was going to change forever. And there's a reason why the 1920s are called the Roaring 20s, because it turned out no one cared. And as long as everything in air quotes went back to normal, nobody cared. China's main motive seems to be profit driven. Because we now have had the daughter of the executive from Huawei locked up for almost a year, and we the people in the public sphere still have no evidence whatsoever that anything was actually done bad. It literally seems like I'm in high school again and someone's getting bullied. I'm not going to say bullying is not without cause. I'm not going to say the bullying hasn't been because of retribution kind of things pushing back. I just know if I see a app created in the United States of America, I know that FISA courts can get anything out of that application without my permission. So I don't trust an app made in the United States of America that I don't have the actual source code to. So I'll take it one step further.
First off, I like the doo-doo drop, but I think it might be dodo as the bird dodo drop. And doo-doo ink would be something that would be pretty interesting.
He said doo doo.
But as what you're talking about, I still have a Huawei phone, and I'm not bothered about what is the data that's being taken, whether that's naive of me or not. Um, and to shut down Chinese apps from the U.S. I mean, it's the prerogative, I guess. I'm sure that they aren't allowing apps made in the United States over there. And then the daughter of the Huawei executive, I believe she's still in Canada as well.
Yep.
So that
Mm.
yeah, so that is also an interesting tie between the United States and Canada. And I guess just the Canadian government kowtowing to the US government as far as extradition of a Chinese national. Although I think she might have just I don't know if she has permanent residency maybe in Canada or
She
but
was she was trying to get it when all this went down. Yeah, I mean, I don't trust anybody outright without question. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter. Sweden, Canada, Mexico, China, Aussies, Kiwis, anybody. Part of it is I think you have to be aware with what you're sharing with what. And that's where I think far too many users don't actually comprehend what's going on. I think we need huge data breaches. I think we need countries exploiting billions of people openly for any amount of people to actually stop and say, well, let me take a look at this device and let me care what's going on it.
Mhm.
And then I think we'll all, and once that rudder moves over and once the ship gets turned, it's not going to go back for a while. Then we will start to care about privacy. And to be honest, computing in America has already been through this, where the only solution to privacy is openness. Open source is the key towards privacy. If you don't have an open piece of software that other people can examine running on your device, then you have no idea what's going on.
Openness is privacy.
No, openness enables privacy. It doesn't mean it's open, but it can be. Because if it's closed, you can guarantee somebody has a backdoor to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I'll say, sorry.
Sorry, no, you carry on.
No, I was going to say, and with all of the hubbub kind of stuff going on about this country's evil, that country's evil, this product's evil, whatever, Huawei recorded their best-selling quarter in Q2 in the history of their company. They beat out every other phone manufacturer in the world this second quarter of this year, even though they're embargoed and they're not being able to be sold in other places. Now the question is this literally just nationalist behavior in China where the locals want to support their company, or is it something bigger? I'm not going to claim I know, but I will just say it like this: dollar for dollar, I have only had one phone I consider to be even in the same realm as my Huawei and Honor phones, and that was my OnePlus One.
Yep. Yep.
in this article that you linked, Samsung is obviously number 2 in the world, and it says that it only has a 1% market share in China. That is insane.
Samsung.
No, that's because it's Korean. China and South Korea are not
Yeah,
friends. Yeah, you want to talk about not liking each other? It's hard to get pretty much more hatred between two countries than those two. I mean, Nintendos aren't even allowed to be sold in China, and they're from Japan, and China doesn't like South Korea like 10 times more.
That's just such a small number.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of Samsung phones being actually manufactured in China. A lot of the parts in Samsung
Oh, yeah.
phones are manufactured in China.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Samsung still does rely on China. To me, I think some people think that there is a moral decision involved in buying Chinese products. And I think that is becoming ever more clear. Tech guys usually we try and avoid moral issues with products. We really only care about the technology. But I think more and more people are realizing there's a moral issue to take here, particularly as we see more and more stuff about Uyghurs being put into concentration camps, all this sort of
Mm-hmm.
political stuff that's going on. Let's not forget. Now, I don't want to piss anybody off, but China is a communist dictatorship. The only
Mm-hmm.
reason it has the power, economic power it has, is because it opened up its economic zones to capitalism and free markets. So it has a limited form of economic freedom, but everything else is a communist dictatorship. So just off the bat, if you think about dealing with China, you're dealing with a communist dictatorship. And some people like communist dictatorships. That is not a philosophy that I like.
Well,
So more and more for me, China purchasing from China becomes a moral issue. So
nobody likes a
um,
communist dictatorship except for the people in charge, because if they did, they would move there,
exactly,
and they're not moving there. Um,
yeah.
and
I
if
know, I know
and if
you
that
don't
makes anyone mad, then they're just mad at facts, because that's just truth.
exactly. So for me, I'm not going to be buying it. I'm going to be buying as little Chinese product from now on as I
Well,
possibly
I got
can.
bad news for you, man.
Mm.
I've had 3 people that I consider to be smarter than me. One of them, I'll say his name. We call him Zoke. Said him and his wife said, "That's it. We're done." This was like 4 months ago. We're done. We're not gonna. Our next phone will not have anything from China in it.
Yeah, good luck.
After over, I want to say it was 800 hours of research. Now, between everybody I know, it was more than 2,000 hours of research, and every single one of them gave up and said, "Never mind. If I can't, it's impossible. I have to have a certain percentage of my money that I'm buying this phone to end up in China." Now, the story goes like this: gather around, chillin'. Milton Freeman stole a part of his talk from someone else. I can't remember who it is, where he would explain the pencil. The normal number 2 pencil exists because you have people with completely contradictory ideologies and beliefs working in a free market system, to where the eraser could have came from a Muslim, the little brass ring could have came from a Jewish township, the wood could have came from a Nordic tribe, for all we know, the lead could have came from, which of course it isn't lead, it's graphite, could have came from South America. Yet in the name of the almighty dollar and their own benefit, they would work together to make this product to be sold. In 2020, the same thing is said for a smartphone. It comes from everywhere around the world. You cannot, if you even try to exclude Thailand from your phone, you can't do it. It's impossible. If you want to exclude the United States from your phone, you can't do it. All you can try to do is minimalize your like choice. And I will say, Asus is one of the companies who I do believe tries to take more of a proactive, "we don't love you" China stance. The other company is Motorola. Um, I would like more companies to make more choices based upon people's human rights and freedoms, but that doesn't seem to be a popular thing.
Well, I think a lot of manufacturing and processing of consumer goods is going to move out of China. It's going to go to places like maybe India or the South Pacific,
No,
or might be coming into back to America.
Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia just got a 300% boost in the last 8 months in manufacturing.
Mm.
I have one question about this. Do you think that a number 2 pencil has doo-doo ink?
It very well could. Very well could. And yeah, I mean, the only constant is change. Like the example I give is when you used to call, have a call from help desk support, it was always that stereotypical Indian guy who answered the phone. India got too expensive for us to outsource to. So now, quite literally, a huge percentage of the offshore help desk support coming from the United States is actually Africa. Okay. China
Use the
is
Philippines a lot.
becoming, that too. But China is becoming too expensive to manufacture in. The
Yes.
number of poor people who have risen out of poverty in China to a living wage is enormous. And because of that, now manufacturers are starting to go to places like Indonesia, Indochina, Thailand, Vietnam, and there was like 2 or 3 other countries over there that have seen really big booms.
Malaysia.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
And then,
Was
and then
there,
it's just a question of then the goals shift. You know what I mean? Because who's to say any of those countries are any better?
Well,
Well,
and then
exactly.
there's
There's some
also the point.
dictatorships.
There's also the point of, is that necessarily a bad thing? You know, if you are getting everything manufactured in China, sans the communism and all of that, if you're getting it made in China and then it becomes too expensive in China, does that mean that the lower class is now becoming the middle class? And is that actually supporting the economy of a country? And then when you move it to Thailand or Malaysia or Vietnam, then is that eventually going to happen as well, where you're bringing up the lower class into more of a
Mm.
middle class standard?
Mm.
Right. Well, some people say that we're taking advantage of those people right now by having them produce the goods because we're not willing to pay enough money. But if they keep doing it, it will be a benefit to their economy.
Well, I'll tell you one thing I'm very interested in now is a Linux phone. I want to try it out, see if I can have it as a daily driver. There you go, the old Pine phone. Is that the Pine phone?
Yeah, this is the Pine
Yeah.
phone. I believe it's the 2nd edition. I believe they're on their 3rd or 4th edition of them. I'm a Linux weenie. I've been a Linux weenie for a while. I used to be the guy who was the advocate who would like frown upon, you run Windows, you must not know how computers work, kind of mentality. I'm past that. I'm older. The truth of the truth is this phone is freaking awesome. There's a lot it can do. Considering how young this platform is, there is a lot it can do. With that stated, I don't think it has the possibility to be a end user. The old saying in the Linux world was, can your grandma use it? Okay. And the question is, when will that be a possibility? And to be honest, probably not for at least, I'm being really generous, I think, 2 to 3 years. We're going to need hardware revs. We're going to need kernel revs. We're going to need developers to jump in and figure out ways to basically minimize the amount of work, maximize the amount of output on the screen to where stuff works. The one place where it's right now extremely lacking, I have no problem saying this out loud, is battery performance. Samsung, Qualcomm, um, all those companies have billions of dollars set aside to where they can easily slice off $20,000, $40,000 a year and have somebody really smart just sit in the back and work on GPU battery optimizations, things like that, to really like take like 10% more battery, 10% more battery life, and just keep stretching it out to where now there are devices out there that can actually last an entire day. With the Linux phone, if you use it with any regularity, you better have a charger within reach in under, like, I want to say 6 to 8 hours. So it's going to be better. And right now, I say if you want to support this to make it come quicker, then you should buy yourself a Linux phone. But don't buy it expecting it to be on par with the other, big boys.
What do you do for apps, Dor? Can you do a apt install, or what's the?
You can, I'll say, but it depends on what version that you run. Link right there that was in the notes, put in the YouTube chat. It is to open-store.io. This is the public facing mirror, I believe, of the actual UBports, aka Ubuntu Touch, that isn't owned by Ubuntu anymore. This is their store, and this is all the apps that they offer over when you actually boot up the phone. I have the link for some reason looking at their Reddit apps, and I don't know why. But there's only 5 apps listed, but you can see in the top corners of each one, some of them are web apps, aka progressive web apps, and some of them are genuine installable apps. I just like the fact that just like Google Play, I can access this web store on my full desktop browser. That was the thing that actually caught me off guard.
Well, I think that web apps is a I mean, it's a perfect use case would be for something like this as well, especially starting out.
Well, and there is one, and this is extremely beta, extremely beta. Post-market OS, you can flash on this phone or the newer phone, which has double the RAM. And then you can run ANBOX, and then you can literally take Android APKs and install it on the phone now. Not all APKs will work. The more of an APK that relies on having that Google services backbone, the less likely it's going to work. For instance, you'll never get Gmail to work. You'll never get Google Apps to work. You'll never get Google Play to work. You'll never get Gmail to work because they heavily rely on that Google Play services back end.
So as long as you can live without Google services, you could actually survive quite well with a Pine phone.
It's more than that. You don't need the Google services, you don't need the Apple services, and you don't mind having apps that are just, to be quite frank, not as polished as the other
Yeah.
apps.
But would that affect things like signing in with a Google account? Would you be able to do
If
that on
the
a Pine phone?
if the service enables it, like for instance, it does have Pocket Cast, the one that nobody likes except for NPR. Pocket Cast is available on it, and if Pocket Cast has the ability to let you log in with your Google account, then yes, you can. But it's
Oh,
not
cool.
up to the operating system; it's up to the individual application.
Yeah, and you can still install regular APKs. Just download and install regular APKs and run them.
If you right now use the post-market OS and install ANBOX, you can try to.
Right. Okay.
Well, Eric in the chat is also pimping the Alcatel One Touch
Touch.
535 pretty hard as well, and he says that he has charged it 3 times in 30 years, and he said you can also use it to jumpstart a combine harvester.
Nice.
So maybe we need to look a little more into that.
You can stick it in your sock and fight off gang members in a prison yard fight. Do that with your Pine phone.
Yeah, and like just between us guys, I'm going to admit, for the last 3 days, I have not spent a lot of time on my Pine phone because my Open Sesame distribution on my Pine Book Pro laptop stopped working with my USB hub to my external monitor. So in the last 2 days, I've installed 20-ish operating systems to my Pinebook Pro to find one that works well with my external monitor. It literally 2 hours before showtime, I got it working. So I'm happy. So starting tomorrow again, I can start playing with the Pine phone again.
Do you know if it has a desktop mode like Huawei phones do?
It will support certain USB docks. And then when you hook it up to the dock, only 2 of the operating systems that I know of will give you a different display than what you see on your phone. I'm not going to call it desktop mode. I will call it different mode. Maybe in the future, with enough polish, it could be a desktop mode because it's just Linux. I mean,
Because if you ask me, that's where we're going. We're going to phones which you can just plug into a monitor, and that's your computer. That's what we'll be carrying around with us. No more laptops.
Well, and the one I wished would have worked, to be honest, Ivor, between me and you, is post-market OS on the Pine phone does Android APKs. I found out during this process there was also a post-market OS version for the Pinebook Pro. And what I was really hoping was I could install it on the Pinebook Pro, get a good desktop layout, install it on the Android device, and then make it to when I plug it up to a USB-C hub, that could be the display. But didn't work quite well yet.
I don't know. I would quite enjoy the challenge of having to live day to day with a Linux phone. Only a Linux phone, nothing else.
I'm in.
I would do
I'm
that.
in for sure. Dor, how is it as far as just the smoothness, the with 2 gigs of RAM, is it run pretty fast? Pretty.
It depends on and this is sorry to get non-Android on people, but it depends on what desktop you install. If you run Posh, which is the one that is out from the Prism people, it's semi-snappy. Plasma Mobile runs kind of snappy. Plasma Desktop, a little bit slower. GNOME, definitely a little bit slower. There was an open box I ran that ran actually pretty snappy. Two of them, I'll say I had to like tap and slide and then wait a half a second for it to react. UB ports, I will say, shockingly snappy and maybe the best keyboard I've seen out of all of them. But I will also say on the back of this, if you take the case off, which I will say is not, first try, there's pins. I don't know if you guys remember what other phone had the availability of pins in the back, but it was that unbelievably non-essential, essential phone. Okay. Yeah, well, these guys do it too, and they already have a couple people making things like slide-out keyboards for the Pine phone and extra pieces of hardware for it. So,
this is going to be good.
I'll put it like this: what is the right time to buy an Android phone?
When the battery
tomorrow,
gets better than it is now.
Tomorrow. It's never the right time to buy one. Never, because always in a day or two something better is coming out. This is getting to be close to where if you don't buy one in the next 2 months, you might want to wait 6 months, because they're going to start leapfrogging their own technology here soon. And there's no doubt once this gets any traction, you're going to start to see, dare I say, on AliExpress or something, a whole bunch of these just being pumped out.
And can you put any desktop that you want on there?
I'm not going to say any, but yes.
I mean, can you put a XFS or F? Jeez.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you can put Awesome on it. You can put i3. You can put anything on it. It's just you won't be able to like use it on your little phone without like a mouse, external mouse hooked up or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've seen i3 running on it, Awesome running on it, GNOME running on it, KDE Plasma, KDE Desktop running on it, Posh, OpenBox, at least one or two more. Yeah. And here's I'm going to pimp out. If you want to listen to somebody who has more experience than myself with this device and unbelievably nice guy, you need to check out, all one word, Linux Lugcast, LINUX LUGCAST. The guy's name is Honky Magoo, and he's had one for about a month, and he actually digs into it and plays with it. He knows more about it than I do.
Hey, what name is that? Honky Magoo.
I'll just put it like this. When I met him in Boston at Northeast GNU Linux Fest, he said, I want to start doing something, but I think I have to change my name. I turned to him and gave him a look like, why? He said, well, because it's Honky Magoo. And I said, and he said, some people might call it, might think it's offensive. I said, good. He was like, what? I said, if they find it offensive, maybe they'll listen to you more. I don't know, but don't change it. Jeez.
Awesome.
Yeah, if you want to get rid of that phone, Dor, I'll send you my address.
I was already told by Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. He's the guy who sent it here. He said, if you have it sitting on your desk for too long, please send it to somebody else who will use it. Because he said it was sitting on his desk for a couple months.
You know what I like best about it? You can take the back cover off.
And the battery.
How many phones can you do that these days? You can take the battery out, put a new one in, good to go.
Well, I'll tell you this, it gets even more than that. Okay, Ivor, you can take the back cover off, you can take the battery out, you can take the SIM card out, you can take the micro SD card out, you can take a screwdriver, and you can easily take this thing apart down to everything, and you can replace any single one part you want to take. All the screws are there, and they have official documentation on their website how to take this thing apart piece by piece by piece by piece.
So you reckon it would be easy to replace the screen?
For me, no. For someone with good eyeballs, very easy, yes.
Wow. All right. Well, this is Linux Phone Addicts, so we're glad that you all joined us.
And Alcatel One Touch Addicts as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would recommend anybody that wants to come out to the live chat Thursdays, 6 o'clock Pacific time, the only real legitimate
What
time
time?
zone. 6 o'clock Pacific, the only legitimate time zone.
Don't think I know what that means.
This is the LG V10. It is the last phone I bought that has a removable back, and that was made in 2010. So I love that phone. It's a great phone, and it wasn't made
Very
in
cool.
China.
Hey Ivor,
Yeah,
you've been gone for a long time. Do you have
I
any
have.
apps that you want to bring?
I do. I do. Um,
Is it the
so
Harbor Boating app
the Harbour
He already
Boating
brought
app,
that one.
where you were
He
getting
already brought that one.
the crabs? I know he did.
the Seaport.
Seaport, that's right.
Seaport. Yeah, no, no. I'm up to level 588 on Seaport at the moment.
Jeez.
That's well, my wife is on 1500 and what is it? Candy Crush. So I don't think I'm doing too badly. Right, let me just share my screen. Share that. Just let me know if you could, when you can see that coming up. You see my screen now?
Yep.
Yep, cool. All right. So this is my first app. It's a pretty boring app, actually. This is called Bill's Reminder. And basically, what this does is it tells me. Don't worry, you can see what my bills are. There aren't very many interesting bills here, and I don't mind people seeing this information. Basically, it shows up with the calendar, and where you have a bill that's due, it shows up with the date on the calendar. And every time you get a bill, you can just use this floating action button to enter the bill, put in the bill details. You can add attachments, so you can do a scanned copy of it. It's got all these options to add labels and stuff. When is the payment due? When do you want to be reminded of it, etc., etc. So you put all the details in there, and it shows up in your calendar. Uh, and I just find it tells you what upcoming bills you have, gives them a list. You can do by receivables and payables. You can do any overdue bills. So there's my life insurance payment; it's slightly overdue. All the bills I've paid, all the bills that are unpaid, and then we go into all these other options down here: labels, context groups, categories, all sorts of settings that you can use. So
Okay.
I'm
I,
really
I
quite
see.
quite
I,
impressed with it. It's quite a
I
simple
see at
little app.
least 20 apps in here called Bill's Reminder. I'm gonna guess it's
Oh,
a
okay, sorry. Yes.
green icon with a blue uh center to it.
Uh, no, it's a red icon with a white. I'll just put the link in the chat.
Yeah. There's like 10
Can
of
you
them.
can you use
Sorry
that
for that.
as your primary calendar as well? Or does it sync with your
Um,
calendar, or like how does that part work?
no, I haven't been able to get it to sync with my calendar. It does provide reminders. You can't use it as a primary calendar. It's not designed to be a calendar. Um, and no, they don't come through to my regular calendar. That's its only real disadvantage. But other than that, it's a really handy little app to use to keep track of what bills you need to pay and when they're due. Other thing is, I couldn't share it with anyone either. I can't share it with my wife, so she can see what bills are coming due.
Well, that's the definition of security. The actual
Yeah.
name is Bill's Reminder dash track payments and store receipts.
It seems like yeah, seems like just one more thing to add to a workflow
Right.
that
Well,
I
and it
that I,
has and it's
Well,
by
it's a kind of a workflow that I
124
already have.
apps.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it fits in well with my lifestyle actually at the moment. Because what I do when I get a bill in the mail is I will, physical bill like a piece of paper. I'll scan it and then I will set a reminder in my calendar. So I just scan it with this app now, and then I've got the reminder set up already. Where I get an email with a bill attached, I can send it directly to this app from my email account, and it will share it to that thing. So it's very
Oh,
easy to
nice.
use and a part of my regular process that I have at the moment.
That's cool. Then if you can set it to where you get a notification if you get an email with from a certain email address or a certain
Yeah,
subject line. Nice.
yep,
Yeah,
it's good.
and it's by 124 apps. It's marked as a productivity app. 199 reviews. Does have in-app purchases. In the U.S., it's $1.99 to buy. 4.2 average reviews. It is eligible for the family plan, which I will say I love that feature. Updated July 6, 2020. Only 7.4 megs in size, so it's nice and tight. Good code. 10,000 plus installs. Current version 0.9.6 requires 4.2 Android and up. So you could put this on a lot of devices. Content rating, of course, E for everyone. The biggest in-app purchase is $2.99. It's going to need a fair amount of permissions because that's just the nature of this app. Camera, photos, receive data from the internet, full network access. Developer doesn't have a website. It looks like it's support at 123apps.com. So 124apps.com is their website.
Cool.
Cool. How about you, Dor? Any fault?
Yeah, I got some stuff.
Hang on,
Well,
guys.
I already
just gotta
brought
let that in. Just a moment.
Okay. Yeah, I already brought the Doodoo app, but I can bring more. Okay,
I could.
this app, huh?
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, that's right. You did. I could bring one if you want.
This one I want to bring. This
Bring
is
it.
called Microsoft Family Safety App. Okay, by Microsoft Corporation. The category is parenting. Note, the category is parenting. Okay, Microsoft Family Safety, Microsoft Corporation, parenting, E for everyone, free to download, no in-app purchase, no ads. A whopping 246 reviews. Wow, good job, Microsoft. 2.8 average reviews. Great job, Microsoft. Um, Updated July 17th, 2020. Size varies with device. 100,000 plus installs. Current version 1.0.0.493 requires 6.0 Android and up. Content rating E for everyone. Permissions. It basically needs everything because it's Microsoft. Contact, phone, location, Wi-Fi, device ID, uh, full network access, run it startup. Oh my good, it keeps going. By Microsoft.com. Okay, this is the application you want to install as a parent or guardian when your people under your responsibility are using too many Microsoft apps. You can put them in your family plan and you can limit how much time they can run a Microsoft app. So I'm all in favor of this app.
Just set it to 0 and get it over with.
Yep. Actually, I'll set it to like 2 minutes, just long enough for them to log in and like click one thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no good app or no good reviews on this thing.
No, because there can't be, because it's Microsoft. They can't do anything right. Okay. And here's the thing. No, this should be an enterprise app allowing you to monitor enterprise app usage. No family proudly says they're a Microsoft family. If they do, trust me, one of them's a child predator and the other one's probably making meth in the back. Okay. Because they don't exist, kind of thing. So if you have a problem with your family, they won't stop downloading Microsoft apps, then you need to download Microsoft Family Safety because every family is safer with less Microsoft.
Well, no, I would really like Bill Gates to give me parenting advice.
He's giving advice on everything else.
Okay,
Had to
I
do
want
it.
to bring one called iBoating. It's called, and it's marine navigation maps and nautical charts. I had brought an app called Navionics, a while back. Um, and then I gave them like $30 for this app, and then they changed their model to be a subscription model, and that $30 just went straight down the drain. Can't even use the app anymore, and have to pay monthly to use the app. So I wasn't exactly happy about that. Um, this one I found quite good. You had said in a last week or whenever I was out camping, you said it was in a lake, but it was in the ocean. And so we're doing some fishing in a canoe, which is definitely an interesting endeavor sometimes in the ocean. And so I wanted to use this for fishing, and it worked out. It worked out pretty well. It's just a general marine chart, shows you what you need to see. It's called iBoating Marine Navigation Maps and Nautical Charts by GPS Nautical Charts. It's also parenting. No, that's not right. It's travel and local. It's for everyone. And 4.6 average reviews out of 6,241. Updated July 27th, 2020. Current version 156.
Hmm.
25 megs in size. Android 4 and up, 500,000 installs. In-app purchases, $22.99 to $84.99 per item. And so that is basically, you need to purchase the charts that you want to use. You can use it
Gotcha.
without purchasing the charts, but you don't have. It's not very functional. So I think I paid $30 for the Canada US charts. So we'll see how they change their model as well, and then I get screwed out of my $30 again.
Have you got a boat?
No, canoe, well, which is a boat, I guess, but
Of course, you have a canoe. That's how the
that,
Canadians get around, isn't
got moose painted on the side.
it?
You don't have a kayak?
I've got two kayaks.
What's the difference between a kayak and a canoe?
I don't know, what
Canoe
is it?
open. A canoe is open at the top. A kayak is closed at the top. Next question.
Canada welcomes you with open arms, door.
Eh?
Bring your hunting rifle.
Oh,
If you can
is
get a
the
license for it.
plural of moose meese or mooses? I think I have to know that before I step foot.
I think it's moose eye, actually.
Moose eye. Gotcha.
So yeah,
Okay.
I'm kind of into these navigation apps. They're very, very handy, but just so expensive.
Gotcha. So, do you have any more apps you would like to bring there, Ivor?
Oh, yeah, I've got another one if you want to have a look. We've got-
Toilet
Bubble
paper
Up.
tracker.
Toilet paper tracker, yeah. This is called Bubble Up. Here, I'll just get the link and I'll put that in the display in the chat. It's called BUBLUP. And it's a note-taking app, but it's a note-taking app with a slight difference. So you can see my screen there. This is the home screen of the Bubble Up app. And basically in here, I've got a whole bunch of notes that I've taken from links that I wanted to save. And what I can do with a folder, I set up a folder to save some notes in. And what I can do is invite other people to have a look at it, but I can also roll an instant web page. Now, if I roll an instant web page, it says it rolls up everything in your folder. You can share it, which you can share. Basically, it turns everything in that folder, all the notes that you've saved in there, into a web page, and it gives you options to have a cover image. You can put a title and description for it. You can have a theme, so we can put a yellow and black theme on that, and then we can do an easy link. which is an easy to remember URL. You can create a set a domain, and I haven't quite tried that out yet. But anyway, if you wanted to get into that, you can really get stuck in, and create all sorts of stuff like all the notes I've found on Elvis the last couple of months. I can create a website out of that and share it with my brother, which I'm sure
The
he'll
world
be doing
record
too.
got broke.
What's that world
Did you
record?
see that?
Is that Elvis
The world record.
impersonators or something?
No. It was the world record of the longest continuous singing Elvis Presley songs.
Oh yes, I saw that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
um, but you can also have a look at what other people have shared with you. Um, it's got this trending option here, which basically is all the most commonly saved or most popular apps that other Bubble Up users are using or looking at. You can get notifications. You can create a circle for your info with all that sort of stuff in it. So I thought this was a note-taking app. There are lots of different note-taking apps out there, but this is one with a bit of a difference. It's got a save later option, and then you can do emails as well. So it just adds that bit of extra value to a note-taking app, which I think is missing in a lot of apps, which are very simplistic in their approach at the moment.
I really like to roll up a website. I'd like to see how it functions, but
Yeah,
that's very, very intriguing.
you have to have a domain, but it seems to be a very sort of easy function. So let's do one with the Elvis thing.
Do you have to have a
I
domain?
gotta.
Because it looks like it's your URL is rolls dot bubble up dot
Oh,
whatever. So it looks like they're actually you're using their domain to do it.
I was gonna
Oh,
say I
right.
have a domain, but it ends in RU. If that's okay.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So here's the link. Your roles URL will be similar to this.
Yeah, so
What
they're just using their own servers to create
create the
customized
page.
pages. I think
Okay.
that's a fantastic idea. I'd be
Makes it
interested to
easy.
see. Yeah, yes, especially for something like this. If
Create.
you just want people to, you want to collect news articles that you find
Okay.
interesting.
Well, then the question is does this have any integration with Zapier, or if this then that? Because if it has
That's a good
integration with
question.
that, then it should be, I don't want to say easy because it's not easy, simple to have them like linked together to where you don't have to go into the app and handcraft everything. You can dump everything via just a share, then go back in later and organize.
Well, it doesn't look. I don't. Yeah, I don't know if you can. How much you can edit that site? Is that the actual site, Ivor? Can you share
Yep.
the link
It's
of
the
that?
actual
The URL that
Yeah.
you just created.
See if I can copy it. Copy.
What?
There you go, and I'll paste it in the chat. There you go.
Mm. No, if this then that integration.
Oh, really?
But that doesn't mean it is impossible, because sometimes you can access it as an RSS feed or something else. Sometimes all you gotta do is put a slash at the end and the word feed. Oh, dang, it didn't work. Good try.
I
So
like what
yeah,
they're trying to do here.
I do too. It's definitely interesting.
Yeah, I can even see you guys we've got 3 views on the page already. So you can change it here at the top.
Very
It could
cool.
definitely use some work, but like
Oh.
it's not the worst website I've ever seen.
No,
No,
it's
exactly.
pretty snappy too.
It was created in like 2 seconds, so it's not a bad
Hmm.
effort.
I like it.
Very
Good
cool.
job.
Good
That
find,
is
man.
not a doo-doo app. Oh, I want to bring an app called Navcasts. The last time I was on here, I had just gotten a Fossil Wear OS watch, which I have since returned due to the fact that it just wasn't quite what I was looking for. I mean, for a Wear OS watch, I guess it's good, but yeah, it just wasn't floating my boat.
So you still haven't found what you're looking for. Got it.
Yeah, I have, but it's $1,200, so that's
Oh,
not happening. Yeah, I'm looking more towards like a Garmin now, something that is.
well, let me know. Let me know. Even though they got hacked, might be able to hook you up.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I'm letting
employee
you.
discount.
I'm letting you know. You
Okay.
work for
Well, you
Garmin
got it.
now? Sweet.
No, I don't. They wouldn't have me. I'm an incompetent government employee.
But there's very limited podcast players on Wear OS, and so this is actually a Wear OS app. It's called Navcast Wear OS Podcast Offline Navcasts.
Ah. See, and to me, offline is perfect because my logic is the real time you want a podcast on your watch is when you don't have your phone, aka like you're outdoor exercising or something.
Yep, and that's the main point, really, for me. It's by Turn the Page. It's music and
Good name.
audio. Yep.
Good name.
And it's got 4 point
69 reviews.
I know 4.0 reviews out of 69 total. Nice. And it has 1,000 plus installs, updated the 5th of August 2020, 7.5 megs in size, version 2.6.3. Permissions, Wi-Fi, photos, storage,
Yeah,
basically
fair.
everything your watch can do. So yeah, this is the one that I was using for the limited time I had the watch, and it's pretty good. It's the best one I found. I think I tried all the ones that were available, which is, like I said, very few, and it is available for Family Library as well, but it's still just buggy. The interface was buggy.
Well,
It was difficult to download. The icons are pretty terrible as far as like downloading and stopping the download, and things look like they're grayed out when they're not.
mm,
It just overall is just clunky, and that's kind of how I found the entire the entire watch actually was just kind of clunky and a bit difficult to even use.
well, the only constant is change, and the change for Wear OS to be competent is long overdue. Just saying.
It's true. This is the first Wear OS item that I had tried to use, and I mean, obviously, it was a disappointment in some aspects because I sent it back. Um, but it was also, I don't know if it was hardware issue or what, but
Mm.
the GPS was having problems. It would take forever because, like I said, the main reason I wanted to use it was for tracking runs and exercising, and sometimes, most of the time, the GPS wouldn't even work.
Hmm.
So it wasn't even tracking the run anyway, and then syncing was a problem. Yeah, overall, just a disappointment. I would say that it was a doo doo app.
See, and I
How
would have
much did you pay
thought,
for it?
oh, too
Sorry,
much.
what's that, Ivor?
So how much did you pay for it?
259 Canadian, I think.
Jeez. You should have got a much better
See,
watch for that.
well, and when I hear the name Fossil, I don't think low end. I mean, am I
No,
stupid?
it wasn't. No, no, no. Like I think the quality of the watch was really good, actually. But just the whole Wear OS part, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it was just because the the GPS wasn't functioning how I wanted it to, and the podcast players were just not very good. But the build quality of the watch was great, but overall, nah, not happening for me.
Mm.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think Wear OS has got a problem, eh? Really
I
needs
think
to come up
so.
with
And
something.
that 259 Ivor was on. I think it's a $399 watch.
Gee, no way. No way. I bought my daughter, who's 8 years old, a $30 small watch, and that has space for a SD card. And you can shove an SD card in there, and or another SIM card, and actually use that as a phone. And you can store podcasts on the SD card and listen to it from your phone, which I was quite impressed with. And it seems to be sort of pretty common functionality across a lot of those cheaper models of smartwatches.
Hmm.
Um, so I don't know what Fossil's problem is. Other Chinese manufacturers are doing it no problem.
Well, are they using? Is it Wear OS though?
No, no, they're not.
Yeah. See, I think that I'm
considering
not sure it's a Fossil problem. I think it might just be a
it's a
Wear
Wear OS
OS
problem.
problem. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and part of the Wear OS problem is the software can only do what the hardware offers, and the processor has not got revved in. I want to say it's 20 plus months. And I mean,
Yeah,
can you imagine if you haven't been able to get a new phone processor in nearly 2 years,
terrible. Mm.
how upset we would be with phones?
Well, it seems to me that I'm not sure that there are. I don't think that the highest quality developers are working on Wear OS.
It's the
Yeah.
old Microsoft operating system for phones again, isn't it? The lack of apps means the lack of users. Lack of users means less apps. It just becomes a spiral where you end up producing just with a small 2% of the market doing bugger all.
It's
While
also
Apple runs away with everybody's lunch.
it's also the cost too.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah,
throw Wear OS on a watch and it seems to double or triple the price.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's and dumb. That's why I got a watch last week. It's running a ESP 266 processor in it, not running Android, $30. It doesn't have close to the fit or the finish or the functionality of an Android watch, but I can't pay that much for a watch. I got this just to hack around with and play with. I will much sooner get just a sports band than a Android Wear OS, only because of a couple things. There's many, 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 many um, health monitor wristbands that get 10 to 30 days of battery life and that provide you
Mm.
with the ability to at least see notifications, maybe not respond to notifications, but at least see notifications and have some interaction with your phone. I don't know anything that can be done on a genuine Wear OS device that I think I can't live without if I were to play with it. Oh, Google Music's dying. Do you guys care about that?
nope.
But YouTube
I care about as much as I cared about Microsoft movies.
Well, what I'll
Microsoft
say
books.
is I have 29 days worth of audio uploaded through the Google Music Manager. When I'm done listening to 24 to 36 hours of podcast in a day, I listen to some music. Nothing created after, I don't know, 2002 or 97, because everything after that sucks. But I have I'm going to paraphrase the Jerry Seinfeld show. There's work George and there's home George, and the two shouldn't collide. The world will end. Okay. I have my music Door Geek, and then I have my YouTube Door Geek. I do not want my music Door Geek to poison my YouTube streams. Okay. I am particular on my Google Play Music. I listen to Weird Al Yankovic. I listen to Black Sabbath. I listen to Run DMC. I listen to Hank Williams Sr. I listen to Boogie Down Productions. I listen to Hank Williams III. And like all kinds of stuff in the middle. And then when I'm on YouTube, I'm watching Vsauce, Veritasium, SciShow, Crash Course. They're not going to come together. So I've literally purposely opted out of migrating my stuff over so many times. Google sent me a survey that I sat through that took me 30 minutes asking me, trying to figure out why I'm not migrating. You should migrate. It's great to migrate. It's going to be so much better when you're done migrating. 3 times they almost tricked me into clicking the button that would migrate my stuff over. Every time I caught myself last second, pulled the mouse away. No, I'm not. So finally they got to a point after literally 30 minutes of questions, 40 pages of questions, they got to the point, what will make you migrate to Google Play Music, with a text box with one word answer, nothing. Okay. They killed me. They took a piece of my soul when they destroyed Google Reader. Once bitten, baby, twice shy. Never am I going to let it happen again. Once Google Play Music is done, I'm going to take all of my music, install it on something I own, something I control, something I have complete access to, that I'm not at the beholden to some giant conglomerate corporation who doesn't care anything about humanity or anybody's individual personal freedoms, liberties, or rights. I'm going to put my music on my device that I'm going to hear, and I'm going to use an application like Piano Bar Fly. Google search Piano Bar Fly. Once again, Piano Bar Fly. Install it on a device, get a free Pandora account, click in it, make your playlist, hit go, come back 2 or 3 days later, you have 2 or 3 days worth of audio completely neatly categorized and itemized and put into folders, and then you just delete what you don't want, and voila, you have yourself your own personal content that you can put on your own server. I'm done relying on exterior sources for my entertainment needs, except for podcast, because I don't need streaming music. I can host it all myself. I'm a nerd. I got this.
Yeah, I mean, Plex makes it very easy to listen to your media, whatever it is, anywhere you are. Have you tried their live TV stuff yet?
I haven't tried the live TV. I saw it pop up in front of me, but to be honest, I was too busy hopping in to watch one of 4 things in the last week. I hopped in my Plex server to watch the season 1, episode 1 of Happy Days. I also hopped in to watch season 1. I want to say it was episode 4 of All in the Family. I then hopped on to again watch The Castle. And then I also hopped in and I watched, I want to say it was Carl Sagan's Cosmos season 2, episode 1. And because that's all I need. You know what I mean? I don't need when I saw the live TV station options, it's really not live TV. It's like turning on like infomercial quality stuff from what I saw.
Yep.
Well, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I know when I glanced at it, that's what I gathered.
So you're still watching The Castle, are you?
Well, every couple of weeks I do, yeah. And I keep trying to find a time when my oldest one, who's 14, going to be 15, he's mature enough he can watch it, but I don't want my 11-year-old to watch it because there's just a little bit too crash. And I say this, dude, I scored points. I scored points. I was in a chat called The Old Men of Linux Podcasting, and I said, I don't care what anyone says in here. Please, somebody in this room, watch this movie sometime this next week. And a guy who lives in New Zealand, he's a transplanter who lives in New Zealand, said, testify, every human being should watch that movie at least once. And I'll say he's worked for companies that do, Hobbit-like activities. So he knows his movies.
Right.
And I believe he actually has an entry on IMDb.
I think everyone should watch that movie at least 3 times.
You're dreaming.
Tell him he's dreaming.
Well, I think if somebody sent me a Pine phone, it would be going straight to the pool room.
Exactly.
Not even gonna take it out of the wrapper.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Oh my God. So good.
Another thing
It's
about
chicken.
yeah, but what'd you do to it? Or what's on the top? Seasoning.
Seasoning, but it's how you do it. Oh God.
Everyone kicked a goal.
Yeah. Okay.
YouTube, to go back to that. I really don't watch YouTube that often. Probably I should watch it more because I try to read on how to do mostly coding things. Like I started a project uh, last week, and it's using Python for the first time, and Flask, which
Yep.
is for creating web apps, basically, or
Yeah.
GUIs for Python. And so I try to I read when I need to find something, whereas maybe I should YouTube more. But every time I go to YouTube on my phone, it has a pop up and asks me if I want to go to YouTube Premium or whatever they call it
Mhm.
now. And it's driving me nuts. I got, how about just a permanent no button?
No,
That'd be
they will never do that. There is solutions around, is what I'll say. One, I might have an opening on my family plan. I don't know. Two, there's a trick. If you take any YouTube video, and I'm going to try to remember off the top of my head, and I'm going to be wrong. You take any YouTube video, you copy the URL, and you put before the word YouTube, no ads dot you, and then you just paste in no ads dot and the rest of the URL. I think it was. Try to remember, and voila, you have a completely ad-free version of that video, no matter what YouTube wants, or tries, or thinks. The bad thing is then you have to go back to YouTube to find the next video that you want to watch. But yeah, there's many ways around it. And now, what I want to do, here's what I'm tempted to start doing. Okay, again, sorry, tangent. The revolving door, about 130 podcasts in now, 130 episodes into all the podcasts I subscribe to. When I'm done doing my podcast, I'm going to do a review of all the podcasts I did after that. And then I'm tempted to jump onto my YouTube subscriptions. But what I'm really tempted to do is turn my YouTube subscriptions into like a podcast aggravator where I can literally submit all my submissions into a text file, have it automatically download everything that I'm subscribed to. So on my local server, at any point in time, I can click a button and see what is new on my YouTube subscriptions today. And when I do that, there's no ads. So I might take a look at doing that, and then I'm sure it's going to use a little bit of Python. You know what I mean?
well, if you let me know if you want a little help.
Well, I think I have another 50 episodes to do for the podcast review. For instance, like in the month of July, there's 30 days. I listened to 33 days worth of audio. And I love it when people like irrationally call me out. How can you? That's impossible. On the Reddit string that was going to be in the notes where they were asking about the podcast addict thing, I posted my screenshot. And I said, I use this app enough. I'm okay with giving them money. And they literally, a guy immediately piped up, how can you understand anything that they're saying? To which I want to reply, well, if you've ever noticed, you watch a movie 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, you keep noticing different things. So it isn't like you're catching everything when you're listening at 1x. What makes you think I'd expect to catch everything at 3x or 4x? But I catch enough because I've been at this crap for 10 years, and where I have blind people I know who literally listen at 14x. Okay. So if you want to pick on somebody for listening to stuff fast, there's other people out there who listen to stuff much faster than me.
Are you throwing Jonathan under the bus?
I didn't say his name. You did. Congratulations.
Yeah, I've actually upped my game too. I'm at, it depends on the podcast. That's
Yeah.
going back to Podcast Addict. Another great thing is that you can set the playback speed per podcast as well. And
Right.
so I'm up to 3 times for some, and then use about 2.5 for the other ones.
Yeah, there's a couple I have to push it down to in the twos, or else I just can't comprehend what they're saying.
Well, it's hard too because sometimes, I listen to podcasts that will have interviews, and so each person they interview has a different cadence, and so sometimes at 3 times you catch the interviewees, and yeah, it just doesn't work.
I concur. Do you concur?
I
Concur.
concur.
Ivor, bring another app, man.
Okay. All right. This app is called Concerts. Concerts Arena. A little while ago, I was watching YouTube, and Freddie Mercury came on as Live Aid concert came on, and I thought, oh yeah, I haven't seen the Bohemian Rhapsody movie, um, and I thought, oh, I may as well watch that. So I watched the Bohemian Rhapsody movie, and I noticed in the last scene, the concert footage at the end. Have you guys seen it?
Negative.
Freddie
Yes,
Mercury movie?
fantastic movie.
Yeah, really good.
The main actor from
My robot.
Mr. Robot,
Yeah.
Rhea Malik. Boom. And here's the best part. He didn't even try to sound like Freddie Mercury. He let
No,
Freddie Mercury's
yeah.
song stand for them, and then he just did the spoken word. I'll say the best movie I've seen in the last 2 years.
Well, the level of reproduction, the accuracy in the reproduction of Wembley Arena, that was all reproduced. They didn't go to Wembley.
Yeah.
They reproduced the whole thing as it was back in 1985. Anyway, the day I was watching this movie, the last scenes that came out, they show the Live Aid scene, and it shows the date up on the top of the stadium, of the stage. That shows the date that the Live Aid concert was on, and it was the 13th of June, 1985, or July, sorry, 13th of July, 1985. And that was the exact day, 13th of July, that I was watching the Freddie Mercury movie. So it was a bit of a spooky coincidence. Anyway, I got interested in watching concerts online, mainly on YouTube. But I found this app, and it it basically gives you a central point where you can find concerts. And now most of them are actually on YouTube, but some of them aren't. And I always think, well, what's the point of these apps? If you can view all of these concerts on YouTube anyway, you can just go and search YouTube and watch them anytime. You don't need to install an app like this. But there's some pretty rare stuff on this app that you wouldn't really normally go and search for, and it's quite a good way of consolidating the stuff that you're interested in. Here we have a list of all the music that I'm interested in. So these are all the concerts that I'd like to have a look at when I get the time. So I've got David Bowie, Eric Clapton. I've got Led Zeppelin's anniversary of reunion from 2007.
Nice.
You've got Live Aid, Queen set. So it's got all these things. So these are all the things I want. Every day I get a notification saying there's a new concert that's been added. So we've got all these old ones. You've got Kiss, Nazareth. You've got Rod Stewart. Sort of appeals to old guys like me. And
You
my
passed
older
right over
brothers.
Pink Floyd.
He
Yeah,
did. I
Pink
noticed.
Floyd, Queen live at Wembley, Alice Cooper. You've got all of them there. Then it's got this category called Greatest of All Time, where basically it lists all the concerts which basically are recognised as the best ever done. So those are all well worth a look. And then it goes into different genres, so you can go into pop and rock and metal and R&B and so this kind of app, I expected it to disappoint me, particularly after I first opened it, and the first thing it did was play an ad. But that's the only sin this app commits, is really just to play one ad, last 2 seconds, and then you go straight into the content. And I
Well,
find it works really well.
if the content is good enough, I'm the guy that really researched and found studies proving advertising causes depression. Okay, because it's real, it does. If the content is good enough, I'm okay with a little ad. I ain't gonna lie.
The only thing I would say about that door is if you're going to show ads, give me an option to pay to remove them. You know,
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
think with this ad, you just get the one ad at the beginning when you launch it. That's it. No more ads, even through the concerts. You have to deal with the YouTube ads, obviously, but anything that there's nothing else from the app itself. So I think it behaves itself quite well in that respect.
and for anyone interested, it's called Concerts Arena. Watch music concerts for free by Cast Tools under Entertainment, and it has a pretty sweet logo as well.
It does. Devil's horns. So here's the question, Ivor. How many concerts have you been to in your life that you, well, A, how many have you been to, and how many were you at where you thought you saw something epic?
3, and I saw something epic at all of them.
Cool.
So I've been to Pink Floyd, Metallica, and one more. Obviously, it wasn't that great.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll say I saw Weird Al, Paul McCartney, and I can't remember who the third was either, but I'll say it like this. The one thing I'm sure about live is, I mean, that's where you separate the chaff from the wheat. You know, the boys from
Guns
the
N'
men.
Roses. Guns N' Roses. That
Oh,
one.
yeah. That's where talent truly shows itself off. I mean, like watching Queen live or Led Zeppelin live, it's not just a guy standing there singing, it's a show. And to be honest, the other one I'll throw in there, Twisted Sister.
Oh,
Say
yeah,
what you want
yeah.
about Twisted Sister. There's a great documentary that came out in 2016. And it's only like 40 minutes long about how they came to be. It came through Dee Schneider coming off that stage every night and nearly passing out from exhaustion because he just wanted to put on a damn good show. Oh yeah,
They still perform.
He does his radio show, which is still like #1 in his area, and he goes touring. I want to say he said 20 weeks out of the year, which somebody at his age, you know, it's unheard of.
Yeah, they do corporate gigs and stuff.
Yeah. I want to rock.
Is a show the same as a concert? Probably not.
Depends on the artist, I'll say.
You
You know, as long as it's a live performance, then I would say yes.
Yeah, it's a live performance.
Okay, because I mean, I've been to tons of live performances in pubs and things, but
Oh yeah.
Oh no, none of these are pubs. These are all concerts, proper concerts, and
yeah, I
concert
think that
performances,
the two that stick in my mind the most, 3 actually. I saw Tool and Roger Waters and Rock the Bells is called, which is a hip hop concert. Or
Right,
yeah.
it is.
Oh,
Well,
fantastic.
Okay, I now remember the third one I saw. It was the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. They're not trans, they're just called Trans-Siberian Orchestra. And if you have not seen them, I'll just put it like this. It's actually one massive group of people. I believe they split up every year into 2 or 3 different groups, and they travel all over the world all year, basically doing holiday concert rock operas. They are some of the most talented musicians that are alive today that aren't in bands like Metallica or something kind of thing. Like raw, crazy talent. You can hear their audio on like CD or whatever, and they're fine. But seeing the show live was, and I'm not a fan of their music, but seeing them live, I'm a fan of them. It was that damn good.
My son is 28. He still goes on about the AC/DC concert he saw when he was 17.
Well, it was AC/DC.
Yeah.
They were pretty damn good. They got one of the best live shows in the world, I think.
Let's hear an app, Door.
You want to hear an app from me? Well, then I'm going to bring something completely different out of left fields. No, I'm sorry. It's not the Spanish Inquisition. It's something completely different than that. When I was young, I used to be a big fan of pool table type games until I figured being nearly blind in one eye and almost blind in the other meant playing pool would not be very much fun. So I ended up watching a lot of it when I was young. And snooker was one of the types of pool that I never really completely understood, but I still found equally, I'll say, fascinating. If you fast forward through the video on the Google Play Store for this app called WST Snooker, you can actually see some gameplay. And I'll just say it like this. This is the kind of gameplay that I would expect on like a last generation game console, not on a Android device. And it does have one of the things I'll say that I like, the idea of offline play. So if you're all at all a fan of snooker, this would be, I think, a great tablet to buy. It's by Labs 42 Ltd under the sports category, E for everyone, 16 reviews, $5.49. Does have some sort of in-app purchase. I do not know what it has. 3.0, eligible for the family library, updated August 6, 2020, 42 megs in size, 100 plus installs. Current version 1.4.0 requires 5.0 Android and up. Content rating E for everyone. Permissions, it really shouldn't need much. Wi-Fi, storage, photo, media, network access. Now, the other reason I brought this up was we had an email come over the chain about Podcast Addict subscriptions and Google Play Opinion Rewards money. I bought this with Google Opinions Rewards Play money. And the question was, does the developer actually get the cash for the buy? In my experience, the two developers I know who I've spoken to this about the past say they still get their, I think, 70% cut of the money. So while we're not paying in air quotes anything for it, the actual developer is getting cash in return for my purchase.
How can Google afford such a thing?
Because they sell all your data. Actually, no, they don't sell all your data. They don't sell any of your data. They take your data, they transmutate it into purchasable blobs of instances to advertisers to push those nonstop. Are you sure you want YouTube Premium? Are you sure you don't want YouTube Premium? Are you sure you don't want YouTube Premium? Kind of ads right down your throat.
What device did you install this on, Dor?
I actually installed this on the Chromebook Flip, which I will say, unfortunately, just ran out of service. It's not going to get another update, and it does make me sad because that device is pretty awesome. I've had my fair share of Android tablets and Chromebooks. It might have been the best performing overall, even though it was only an 11-inch screen and the keyboard was a slight bit cramped. If you didn't have to type an essay out and just an email here or there, it was a fantastic consumption device.
I think that's the one that I have. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I got that same message of this is your last.
Right.
And since then, I've had at least one more.
Yeah, same here.
This your last update.
Yeah.
Because the reason I asked that is because this app is not compatible with any of my devices.
I put it on that one,
including my Flip is on there. It's the Huawei, nothing, like it's LG phone, nothing. Weird.
I find that quite often as well. I think it's a country thing.
Well, it says it's compatible with my Jide Remix, my GPD XD, my Google Asus Chromebook Flip C100PA, and my Huawei P20 Lite.
Yeah, it must be a country thing, Ivor.
Mm.
If only we lived in a first world country.
Well, yeah, the guy with orange hair. Well, your guy's in a touch of trouble too there.
Oh, he's been in a touch of trouble. He's not any better than anyone else.
What's the name of the charity? We work.
Yeah, I don't know. That's all I know. WE.
Yeah. All I know is Global BC podcast there, kind of hammers them,
Oh, forget about it, eh? The guy is he's on the ropes, eh?
Yeah.
Forget about it. He's out of here. He's out.
He's out.
This app is called Morse Code Reader. And it's by I'm going to say Jacek Fedorinsky under communication, 3.7 average review, 1,673. total reviews. Updated August 26, 2013. Current version 1. Size 20K, requires Android 1.6 and up,
Huh.
100,000 downloads. And it is exactly what it sounds like. It takes audible input and translates it to text via Morse code. So it's a little, I mean, it's from 2013, so it's pretty clunky. And I never got any actual Morse code to test it on, but I was sitting outside on my back deck a while ago, and it had just rained, and our gutters have about 12 inches of soil in them. There's actually small trees growing out of the gutters, and so the downspout, it just sort of drips at random intervals. And I was sitting there thinking, what is nature telling me right now? And I figured there must be some sort of Morse code in there. So I found this app to listen to the drip. And I think it was just a bunch of, I think it was a bunch of E's after each other. E,
That's such a
E.
geek thing to do. Oh, that sounds like Morse code. I'll install an app to see if it actually says something.
So that's how I found this app.
Look, as long as it didn't tell you Jeffrey Epstein didn't hang himself, I'm happy.
Gazelle Maxwell did not. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this
Well,
could be like a pretty handy app if the world ends and you have to use Morse code and
well, and the
listen to
gimmick
it.
is, why would it need to be updated? Morse code isn't being updated.
No, it doesn't. That's exactly
It works
right.
just fine.
My father was a signalman in the Navy during the war, during the Second
We
World War,
lost
and
your
he
audio,
was.
Ivor.
Oh,
I heard him.
Hold
you
on.
got me now? You got me now?
Yep.
Sorry. Yeah, my father was a signalman in the Navy during the Second World War, and he was fluent in Morse code. You could not say anything in Morse code without him interpreting it, which was painful sometimes. Well,
Gotcha.
I've got an app. I've got an app I can bring if you want.
Okay.
A little while ago, this app is called Spring. Now, a little while ago, there was an app I used to use called Daywise, and that was a great app. What it used to do is consolidate all your non-important notifications and show them to you at 3 times throughout the day, or 4 times: morning, midday, afternoon, and evening. And what they did was Daywise went to a paid subscription model for about, I think we're going to charge about $4 a month just for consolidating notifications. And I'm sorry, but I think the subscription model thing is just getting a bit out of hand, because managing your notifications is not something that I'm going to pay $4 a month for. Sorry, let's go back to Spring. And I'll just put the link to the app in the chats. Can hang on a second. Now, so what this does is it consolidates your notifications, and it does a pretty good job, and it's free, so it's even better. Hang on, as you can see here, we've got all the notifications here. It's got a wee button down the bottom. We press that, it basically clears your notifications, and it also groups them into different groups: social, work, services. And the settings options up here, you can set instant app settings. You can have group chats and have all these other options like a dark mode. Ooh, there you go, got the dark mode, and it's free. So I found this quite a good replacement for Daywise. Are you guys using anything for your notifications at the moment? Because I find without this, I just get way too many notifications to deal with.
No, I don't use any notification management. If I find a notification annoying, I just long click on it and disable it from ever happening again.
Yeah, I don't as well. I'm a Luddite, if you haven't realized that, Ivor.
Yeah, I mean, well, I was a bit skeptical first when I started using Dayways. I thought, oh, I don't need this, and I found it indispensable. After using it for about a week or two, I really loved it. And then they started charging after about a year. So this was a really good alternative. So if you're looking for an alternative to Daywise, or you want to start looking at notification management options, I've been using Spren now for about 3-4 weeks, and it's really good.
Very cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I will say I know like they said in Young Frankenstein, I'm like Abby. I'm little Abby normal. Like I open up the Google Play Store about 10 times a day to see if there's any app updates, which I know no one on the planet does. And I'm okay with that. My mama told me I was special. I'm not against the idea of notification management. I just don't. I'm the kind of guy. The reason I can't use Twitter is because if I miss one tweet, I'm gonna have to go back and scroll and watch it again. So I need to see every notification I have, or else I freak out.
Yeah. Well, this does it. One thing I like about this one is you can see on the screen now, it shows you all the dismissed notifications as well. So I can go back through all my dismissed notifications in case there's something I missed. And it will show them in groups and everything as well. So overall, a very useful app for me.
Very cool.
And just so you know, Dor, your mom was right.
Yeah. I know, trust me, a lot of school administrators and principals said the same thing.
You want to do one more app, Dor? I've got one more too that.
Oh, well, I'm going to go in, I'll just say a different thing. And this is going to be one of those things, like you mentioned Candy Crush. I can see my wife in the next week telling me about this app that she'll be playing here soon. I'm going to bet. Harry Potter Puzzles and Spells from Zynga. Puzzle, E for everyone. Of course, it contains ads. Yeah, I know. It's so new. There's no reviews available on it. Updated August 13th, 2020, 109 megs in size. Current version 20.1.455. Android 5.0 and up. Content rating E for everyone. Permission details. It's going to need everything: location, device history, Wi-Fi, run at startup, receive data from the internet, view contacts. I mean, all kinds of stuff. It's basically like a whole bunch of mini games plus a new, in air quotes, Harry Potter match 3 game. If that's not the definition of what Candy Crush is, I don't know what is. So I'm pretty sure my wife, who literally one of the premieres between us guys, she put on a pair of glasses with round spectacles and went with a stick in her hand to go watch a premiere of the movie while I sat home watching like UFC. I love her. But yeah,
I'm not sure what the link that you put in there. I mean, I see 13,629 reviews.
I don't know.
Version
Oh.
20.1.453.
Because it's in pre-registration mode, and the screen I present to the public, no user is logged into it, so it doesn't even let you pre-register or see any of those numbers. That's why.
With in-app purchases of $1.39 to $139.99.
Well, how else is those celebrities and with their 5 houses, how can they afford to live?
How are they going to buy that 6th one?
Yeah. And Zynga, aren't they owned by Facebook yet?
Yeah, right.
Because I feel like that should have happened by now.
I got a notice from Firefox the other day saying Zynga had a security breach a couple of months ago.
Well, There's a thing you can sign up for now, monitor.firefox.com, where you can give them any or all email addresses you use, and they will do the monitoring for you on all the breaches and try to give you some advice on how you can mitigate what they know was leaked in the breach.
I think
And
they
again,
do that automatically with the browser. So if you have
well,
it on your phone or your
only if
computer.
you log in. Only if you log in
Right, if you log in with the
to actually
Firefox.
Fireworks.
Yeah.
And they just had to release 250. I want to say 250 employees from Firefox because of the COVID stuff. They basically can't afford to keep them all on staff doing what they were doing, because any good company at this time of year in 2020, they have to pivot to do something else, or else they're going to lose even more money. I encourage people, support competition, support Mozilla if you can, because trust me, you look around you, 10 people around you, 9 of them are not supporting Mozilla.
Yeah.
I only have a pre-registration option for this app. Sorry.
Yeah,
For the
same here.
Harry Potter app. Yeah,
That's
okay.
weird. Yeah, I don't. Must be Canadian.
I'm sure my kids will love this one.
This one is called Cookies Must Die by Rebel Twins, and it's action. Contains ads, offers in-app purchases, 4.3 average reviews out of 16,267. Updated March 8th, 2020. Current version 1.0.9. 93 megs in size. Android 4.1 and up. 1 million plus installs. In-app purchases $1.69 to $81.99. Not sure what that is. Permissions, storage, photos, media, full network access, blah blah blah, vibration, and it is a side-scrolling. Not really. The thing I liked about it, I played it for a little while, was the controls are fantastic. Just the movement. You're basically something takes over a cookie company or something, and then the cookies mutate, and you have to fight these cookie monsters. And so they soup up a regular old Jack, and then he gets some super skills, and yeah, I really enjoyed the movement of the character. Basically, you can jump and re-jump and grab onto things, and as far as an Android game goes, it was pretty smooth and a little bit different than what I'm used to as far as your abilities to move around.
I will say I really do like the art style. Yeah, it's a 2D side platformer. I'm going to guess touch controls.
Yeah.
See, I would like to download this just to see if external controls work, because I just like when I don't have to have my fingers on the screen, because I always feel like I'm missing something by having my fingers on the screen.
I think
But yeah, I mean,
I think you could. I would imagine this would be a game that would be pretty good.
it's just, I would say like this. This is like unbelievably like smooth, butter smooth looking video. And I'm going to guess you don't need to have, $1,400 phone to have it run fine.
doubtful. Yeah. Yeah, it was for the limited time that I played it. It was actually quite fun.
Yeah, I wish Google made it mandatory they had to put in their description whether or not it supported game pads or not. Dang it.
Oh, just
You
send
want
them an email,
gamepad,
Dora.
though.
I'm sure they'll put that in there.
That sounds like work. I'm American.
And sarcasm. Work
Yeah,
and
sarcasm.
sarcasm.
But yeah, I mean, I'll say this. In 2000, either the story is the game, or who cares about the story? It's all about the gameplay. It seems like everything is polarized, not just political parties, but games are either one extreme or the other. It doesn't seem like there's too many sitting in the middle. And I love the fact that the name of the company is Rebel Twins. Very good name.
Yeah, it's
Great name.
That's
Not as
fun.
good as Hamster on Coke, though.
no, that might be the best.
That one sticks out as the most memorable in my mind.
That's what she said last night.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Moving on.
yeah, I think that we're right at the 2 hour mark.
Okay.
So, Ivor, do you have any parting words?
No, well, I've missed you guys, and thanks for having me back, and thanks to everybody for listening in, and if you've got any apps, send them to us. We'll put them on the show.
Yeah, I think there actually was an email that I think I
Yeah.
can't find. So I'll just say out loud, whoever sent the email, thank you very much for all the support and all the feedback. Do
Pete
you have any
Barini.
parting?
Sorry, Pete Barini sent the email.
Gotcha.
Thanks, Pete.
Okay. Do you have any parting words before I do the roll up of all the shows there?
Yeah, were you gonna do the app list? Or do you want me to?
Yeah, I have it up if you want.
Okay, either way. Yeah. Again, it's good to be back. It's been a while. We apologize for the inconsistency. Hopefully, we'll be able to iron that all out. It's good to have Ivor back for the most part, and send us some emails. And if anybody has any suggestions as far as smartwatches go, geared more towards tracking, running, and podcasts, basically podcast playback, offline podcast playback. Shoot us an email and let me know. That'd be great. So other than that, we love y'all.
Dor,
There-
did you mention you were going to share a link to the news articles that you share around first?
It's right in the very top of the YouTube. In the very top of the YouTube description is a link to what's called stuff, and it has a link to everything.
All right, you did mention that. Sorry, I don't have much of a memory at the moment. I'm afraid. Sorry, my short-term memory is terrible.
That's no problem. I definitely want to thank Eric for coming out in the chat, Red for coming out in the chat. I think we had like one or two more people. Sorry, I missed you for being in the chat. But again, Thursday nights is when we do this thing. We try to broadcast that we are going live on all of our platforms. The easiest ones for us to broadcast on are Facebook and Twitter. I try to broadcast on Discord when I get a chance. I'm not perfect. But or you could just subscribe to the YouTube channel and you're notified every time that we go live. I will say thank you for everyone for supporting and for joining us live and for downloading. We're going to start this roll up with Podcast Addict ad subscriptions. Then we have a collection of photos of the Surface Duo. Then we have the pre-order the Surface Duo for $1,400. Then we have the Doo Drop secure file transfer made in India. Huawei shipped more smartphones in Q2. Then we have UbiPort's open store for the Pine phone. Then we have Bill's Reminder - track payments and store receipts. After that, we have Microsoft Family Safety. Then we have boating, marine navigation maps, and nautical charts. Then we have Bubble Up, BUBLUP. After that, we have Navcast - Wear OS Podcast Offline Navcast. After that, we have A Day the Music Died. Google Play Music will go away by October. Then we have Concerts Arena - watch music concerts for free. Then we have WST Snooker. Then we have Morse Code Reader. After that, we have Spern Notification Manager. That is SPREN. Spren. I'm going to guess it's an Aussie thing. Then we have Harry Potter, Puzzles and Spells. And after that, last but and least, we have Cookies Must Die. You can send us an email at aaa@podnutz.com. You can send us a voicemail at 707-6podnutz.com. You can join us on any of those platforms. And if we're not on a platform that you are on and you want us there, let us know. That's the only way it's going to happen. And I want to thank Ivor and Josh for hanging out. I want to thank everybody for coming out live, and we will talk to everyone again real soon. Okay, switch back to where we're streaming. Okay, now kill Audacity, file, save project as. You always do that first, or else you're going to get burnt.
Damn,
And
I
this
lost my
was-
Yeah, except I'm burnt. Save project is for Audacity project, not an audio file. What are you even talking about?
Save project as.
Yeah. Yeah, it says save project is an Audacity project, not an audio is for an Audacity project, not an audio file. For an audio file that wow, what?
Save as a .aup file.
No, it doesn't even it won't let me save or save as. I can't save project.
You stopped recording, right?
Yeah. Sure did.
Mine's totally stuffed. I'll get a blank screen.
I can't even
It's a-
export it. What the hell? Huh.
Yes.
That's a new one.
Oh, it's still allowing me to export it. I can still save my project.
What the hell?
Gotcha.
What number are we? 527? 537?
567, 567.
567.
Huh. The whole everything's grayed out.
Are you sure you stopped recording? Because when you're still recording, it won't let you do stuff.
I think Audacity just crashed. Well,
Yeah, I've got the
Yeah.
same problem, but it's still allowing me to export it,
it stopped. I can't even export it.
save the project.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Maybe it's a RAM thing. You can free up some RAM.
I got
No.
32 gigs of RAM, man.
No, it ain't RAM. Audacity stores in the temp folder, not the RAM.
Oh, okay. It might
Oh,
let
man, I
me
just lost it.
export it, not save it. Oh man. What in the
Very cool, Red. Thanks for hanging out, man. Okay, sit down.
Oh, it looks like it might let me export it, just not save it.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Yeah, I managed to export the project or save the project and export the data, the OGG file.
Thanks, Eric.
We had the same problem.
Yeah, Red. Thanks, man. I'd like to have a meetup with you guys. Well, maybe not Eric, but with Red. Your brother's out of control, Ivor.
He's always out of control.
I'll say I'm pretty sure you already knew that.
Yeah, sorry I said that your audio cut out. That for some these are new cheap headphones. And they were working just fine. And then the audio just crapped out again, just like the other pair of headphones I had.
Hmm.
First time I've used them.
Damn.
Working fine, and then just crapped out. So I don't know. I don't understand that either.
Where'd you
Bad
get them?
day for what's that?
Where did you buy them?
From Prime Cables.
Yeah.
which I've had like everything else I've gotten from them has been quality. So I mean they're extremely cheap, but still should last for more than an hour and a half.
You would think. Okay, so let's go like this. And then say,
This is so crazy. I just don't understand. What is going on? Oh, Audacity.
do you have
I
everything
love-
on just one partition or do you split up?
It's all on one partition. It doesn't make any sense. Like I was able to export it and save it. Somehow it's just straight to an audio. The OGG file seems to work, but I won't be able to. There's a couple spots where I was hoping to take it down a notch, but
Okay. All right, I got that saved. Be back in just 1 second. That's working good. Okay, here you go. There you go. Yeah. It worked good. Okay.
Have you heard anything
are
from
still
Mark
streaming.
lately, Dor?
Yeah, I actually bugged him a week and a half ago. I was watching a video where they were talking about all the parts that were good in the Super Mario Brothers movie from the 90s or whatever. They said, don't get me wrong, it's a bad movie, but here were the good things about it. And then I instantly said to Mark, look, you're the guy who rips all the movies. Get me a copy of this. And how are you doing? And he sent me back a link. He said, I downloaded this from BitTorrent. Let me know if the quality is enough. And then he was like, don't ask how I'm doing. So I'm going to guess he's not doing great.
that's too bad.
Yeah. Well, everything that was going on before all this didn't help, I'm sure. And he's in Georgia where, you know, they shown like pictures of school halls packed with kids, like shoulder to shoulder. Yeah. You know. Yeah. So I'm sure he's not happy about much right now.
Well, especially with his daughter's health conditions, he must be very concerned about
Yeah.
how that's
Well, yeah, I
gonna
mean,
work out.
I know she was worse than my son, and my son has autoimmune disease to where I told the doctor, I'm not comfortable with him leaving the house.
It's bad enough that they just have a food allergy.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be
It
right
looks like
back.
she got her dog though. His daughter
Yeah.
got a dog, seeing eye dog, which is good.
Yeah.
So
Took
thanks
a
to all the
while, though.
Podnutz supporters for that.
Okay.
Been doing any paid work lately, Josh?
A bit, yeah. But I've just got
Just from
word
home?
that yeah.
Yeah.
I just got word that I had a proposal in, and that has been accepted as well. So I don't know when that'll start.
Oh, good. Is that for the Nepalese stuff?
No. It's the web development job.
Mm.
But yeah, what I've been working on is I've got a Raspberry Pi controlling my gardening or the watering in the garden.
Yeah.
And so I'm working on putting a GUI to that to easily control it. So yeah.
I saw a documentary the other day on the computer museum. There's a computer museum in the UK somewhere. I forget exactly where it is. I think it's in London. But they have basically all the they pulled all the computers out of Bletchley Park, and they set up all the ENIAC, and they got it all working again. All these old, very first computers that they used just during the war and after it. But they also have the separate place where they work with schools, local schools in the area, and they've got a whole bunch of a very popular PC in the UK called the BBC Micro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they've got a whole room full of operational BBC Micros, and they bring kids in from the local schools and they teach them how to program on the BBC Micros. These are like
Yeah, they're pretty
40-year-old
cool
computers.
devices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they say it's the best teaching device for coding ever because there's no distractions at all. They can't access the internet while they're on it. It's just a machine for coding, and you have to concentrate, focus solely on what you're coding into the machine. And they've got heaps of people saying, "Can I buy one and take it home?" So if you come across any
yeah,
old
you,
BBC
you can buy
Micros,
them.
You can buy them for sure.
Yeah, you can buy them.
Too.
They have a dedicated store downtown London where that's all they have.
Right.
Like the Raspberry Pi store.
The BBC Micro and the BBC Micro 2 both have like physical buttons on them and really easy connection points for like IoT type sensors and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really functional.
Yeah, I just thought it was great that this 40-year-old computer's been used to teach today's kids about computing.
I've been having fun with Python. I quite like it.
Yeah, Python's one of the most legible things I've ever used in my life. Where you don't have to know the history of the author and everything else, you can just read it.
Have you used Flask at all?
I saw it. I never actually downloaded it. It seemed cool. It seemed like I don't want to say a container because everything's a container these days. It seemed like a good basic framework to get stuff up and running quick.
Yeah, well, it's just sort of a server is what it turns out to be. I think it's just a like node, but it's a very small node for that's not true either. Because you can run it from the same Python script. Like your main Python script or whatever, you run it and it creates a Flask server.
Gotcha.
But just the way that it all ties in together, I quite like it.
Yeah, it's like an instance. And it did seem like it was easy to like plug stuff into it, expand it.
Yeah, there's quite a few modules.
Yeah, so the question is, do you type Python in Genie, VS Code, or something else?
Codium.
Codium is good, I'm not gonna lie, but I know a couple guys who swear by Genie for Python, and I'm like, I understand why you say that, but VS Codium has everything I can think of. There's only one thing I can't do in VS Codium, and it makes me mad. Like how in Firefox, you control tab, and the default behavior is it goes from most recent tab to oldest tab. But you can just go into the preferences and say, I want to control tab through my tabs in logical order. I can't figure out how to do that in VS Codium.
Control tab. Pretty sure
When I
that's
do
what I.
when I do Control Tab, it goes through like which tab I was on last order,
Yeah.
which I don't like it. I want to go first tab, second tab, third tab, fourth tab,
Yeah. Okay. I
natural
gotcha.
order.
Well, I mean, there you can customize it however you want to. I don't know if that's one of them, but
I look for all of 3 minutes, Josh. I mean, Jesus. Oh,
one of the problems I had was is when you have like I would put, I don't know, control whatever, trying to do a shortcut, and it would
yeah,
do something completely different than what I
yeah,
expected. And it comes down to Debian having that shortcut, and so the
first.
OS was trumping the
Yes.
yeah
Yep.
for something
Yeah.
just so stupid that I would never use anyway.
It goes display manager, then it goes desktop, then it goes, I can't remember what, then it goes application.
Yeah.
So yeah, you always got to make sure it isn't used from the top down first, which is what one of the things that's really irks me is what I'll say. So you got to make ridiculous control plus alt plus shift plus F9 combinations.
Or just
Which
change.
is
I
doing
just changed the one that was the. I just
well.
changed
That's
the desktop or the OS one. Or the,
yeah. That's the only thing I like about i3 Desktop Manager is there's really only like 4 shortcut keys for you to conflict with. So it has very low likelihood.
Dora, sorry, I'm having
Hmm.
problems logging into Nextcloud. I've sent a request to reset the password, but
Yeah, the email doesn't work.
that's why I haven't got an email then.
Da, 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 da. No, this. Yes. Okay.
Probably because I haven't logged in for so long.
Well, and I did have it go boom on me at least once, so it's probably a me thing.
yeah, I don't have access to it still either.
Well,
Yeah,
yours is in there,
my
Josh.
Nextcloud craps out all the time.
It's
Really?
I hate to say it like this. You got to when you're on a ARM device, you got to be careful how you upload it or update it, and always, always, always make complete system backups.
Well, I think that mine might have to do with. I don't. What do you have for a hard drive connected to it?
A custom enclosure USB 3 with a SSD with a it's not Samsung. Oh man, I can't remember the name of the company. Like Mushkin.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those. But
Yeah,
it's not.
they're good and
But
good and cheap.
it doesn't have its own power source.
No, it's from the Pi, but it's less than a 250 gig. Once you go above
Yes.
250 gig, then you need an external power source.
Yeah, I think that might be what the problem is. I'm using an old Western Digital USB 3.
Okay, Josh.
And I think that's the problem.
Okay, Josh. Password. Enter.
Ivor
This
is
action
cool.
requires me to fill.
I think I
Right,
might
I
have
believe.
somehow got Audacity to work here.
Okay, so now, Josh, let me go like
Because
this and say
I'm a genius.
forward to Josh. Okay, Josh, I just reset your password to that.
Okay.
And then Ivor, I need a second. Man, my head is killing me, man. Bang. No, this
It's
one.
all those coronas. You got the coronavirus.
Nah, I'm Irish. I'm immune.
So am I. I should be looking into my Irish family roots, going back to
Oh, I'm sorry.
1837.
1837.
Yeah.
Good one.
Poor criminals,
Of
basically.
course. Hello.
Yeah.
Of course they're poor. They're Irish.
Welcome to the welcome to the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
One got married, went to Australia, and set up quite a career as a con man.
Oh.
He would give lectures on the Boer War, on all the battles of the Boer War that he'd been to. Named himself Colonel. He would give lectures in Australia about all these battles in the Boer War he went to. He was never there. He just made it all up.
That sounds like an Irishman. Okay. Oh, almost there. As soon as I stop acting stupid. Oh, dang.
Oh, hey Dork, could you send me the oh, never mind. I'm an idiot. Wait. Yes, that is true. I am an idiot.
I know.
Did you pay for no IP?
Every, in air quotes, couple days, I get, every
Yeah.
month or so, I get
Yeah.
pinged.
I think it's every month.
Okay, Ivor. Forward.
Back to safety. Back to safety.
Okay, just sent it to your Proton mail with the URL,
wait.
username, password should work.
Thank you.
And make sure I got you in the right group. I do. I do. Unlimited. Save. Save. Edit. Unlimited. Okay.
Waiting
Yeah, I mean,
for
sooner or
offers.
later, I'll upgrade this next cloud onto, in air quotes, real x86 hardware. But dang it, I'm not doing it till I have to. It's been running
What's
on
it
this
on now?
Rock Pi. It's on a Rock Pro, no, a Rock 64, same size as a Raspberry Pi computer. It's been running. I'll say this: when I leave it alone and I don't update and upgrade it, like I have OCD, it runs for
Mhm.
months and months and months with no problem. But every time I try to dip in and give it an update without doing a backup first or something, it always crashes. Oh man.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, so next week I got another appointment with my orthopedic surgeon, and we'll see what he says.
Gonna sort out your shoulder.
I don't want to say the shoulder's fine, but the shoulder is, all the pain is easily manageable as long as I take acetaminophen and ibuprofen every day, which I know is not good. So if I stop taking them, I'm sure I'm in, I'm not going to say lots of pain, but, fair amount of pain.
Mm. Mm.
But now I'm feeling basically a pain like right across the outside of my elbow kind of thing. That's the one that's hurting the worst is what I'll say. And if ibuprofen and acetaminophen isn't doing the trick there, then I have no idea what could be causing the pain.
You need to keep doing this.
I am.
Just keep doing this exercise with the bottle in your hand.
Well, I'm doing that, and I have
Wait.
resistance bands where I do like
Oh yeah.
I do 3,000 movements a day.
Yep.
Like 300 curls, 300 this, 300 this, 300 this, 300 this.
300.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
300. We're like taking a sword out of my hilt. I'm doing all kinds of
No,
exercises.
that's Saturday Night Fever, Door.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, can you imagine Dor doing Saturday Night Fever? Did it ever happen, Dor, on the dance floor?
Irishmen can't dance. Irishmen cannot dance.
I bet that's how you
I
found
tried to
your wife.
I explained to the wife, look, my DNA says to me, A, you shouldn't be on the beach. Irishmen don't belong on the beach.
Yeah.
Two,
Yeah,
we don't belong on a dance floor. Okay. We belong in a pub, or we belong like under buried 6 feet under, because that's about the only two places we're good at. Or Irish rugby, getting in a fist fight. You know, that we're pretty good at that too.
Digging ditches.
Well, as long as you're not in a rush.
as long as you're not in a rush. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not, your server's not liking me much here.
Not liking me much either. I can't log in.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll log in as you guys. Every time someone says that, I'm able to log in just fine.
Yeah, well, I know it's giving me it's not even up error. It was
I'm not
working, I was trying to
accessing it from
log
the
in,
inside.
and it
I'm
crashed.
accessing it from the outside through a VPN. I'm actually coming in from Poland.
Hey, don't hate the player, hate the game. I'm gonna have to give you a link because I gotta get going here.
Yeah, I'm just uploading mine to my Google Drive account.
You have a Google? Jeez, you must be rich.
It's a free space. You get all the free space. All these phones I buy, I get 100 gigabytes of free space on Google Drive.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
I'm
buy
up
'em?
to I'm up to 2.5 terabyte.
Wow. I think I'm at like 450 gigs.
Part of it was just buying a Chromebook. And yeah, with certain phones, I know they give it to you too.
Yeah, Asus is good at that too, actually. They'll give you 100 gigabytes of Google Drive space. Do you back up your phones?
I do.
I back up my podcast Addict.
Yeah. No, I'm just wondering because there seems to be all sorts of. I see all these ads for backup solutions for your mobile phone. I think, I don't need it. Why the hell do I need that? I've got Google. Whenever I type
Well, I
and log
mean,
into a phone.
there's really the only thing people, I'll say this, the only thing I think normal, in air quotes, people need backed up is just like SMS messages. I mean, do you really need your app backed up?
Pictures.
Shouldn't it be automatic?
Yeah, I mean, they
but
automatically upload to Google.
I
Google
also
Pictures.
I
Photos.
back up my Google, like my pictures from Google to my Synology NAS here too.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, eventually Google's gonna say, so we're shutting down pictures.
Yes.
Right.
Unless you start paying us $500 a day.
Is that Canadian or US dollars? Should I do an intro real quick?
If you want to.
Go for it.
Ivor's back. The band's back together. Dor just doesn't care. And Josh is a numbskull like usual. Oh man, I don't know.
I think sure that's perfect. You just leave it like that.
I already deleted it. Yeah.
I think my last pass was intercepting something. Is what I'll say. Let me try it again.
Oh yeah, just on the backup issue, I mentioned it because when I got my new phone, the new Asus phone, and every Asus phone I've had is actually good at this. When I install the backup from Google Play, I don't have to go back and re-sign in to all my services. I'm already signed in when I
Right.
when the app's installed, which was, I thought, phenomenal because it can take ages to actually get all your sign-ins done once you've got a new phone. So that was very useful.
Yeah, I'll say Google purposely doesn't do that with everything, but they do it with enough to where it makes it a non-issue.
Yep. Okay. So you should have got my link already, Dor.
Okay.
Just want to check you've got it all right.
I saw the email.
Oh, good. Just want to check it's arrived. It's fine.
Downloading now. Open. Oh, man. Whew. Save as. Bang. Documents. No. What am I doing? Public. Audio. Raw. Convert. Enter.
The band's back together. Ivor is back. Dor just doesn't care, and Josh brings doo-doo apps on this week's episode of Android App Addicts, number
Yeah.
567.
It says your file is all of 1.6 megs, Ivor. Pretty sure that's not enough of a file.
Maybe it's the conversion rate.
It's 95 here. Okay, I'll check that out.
Maybe it just didn't finish uploading yet.
That's 2 megabytes. Yeah, no, that's not right. I'll try it again.
Yeah, there's
Still 2 megabytes. Oh, sorry. Yeah, gave you the wrong file.
good job, Ivor. Good job.
Good enough for government work. I said that in one chat, and one person tried to say, I'm a government employee. I don't like that. I said, I'm a 23-year government employee. Take it up your butt.
It's a badge of pride.
Well, I know. Well, and look, I tried to explain to him, I can spot it from a mile away because I've been there so long. So you being offended by it, there's probably a reason. Yeah, probably a reason you are. Yeah. Of course, he didn't like that, but who cares?
Clearly,
I get paid by the
doing
hour. Yeah. I'm extremely hard-headed. I have more, and I will like outlast any kid with being annoying.
Here, here. Oh, what? Okay.
Give me 500 on Armless Eddie.
Yeah, Eric's was going to go and watch wrestling. Yeah. Homeless Brazilian amputees fighting each other.
Well,
On
we
this
all
end.
have our things.
I just sent you an email, Door.
Okay. Yeah, I think I just crashed my own server.
Good one.
Okay.
It's like a government employee.
Request access. I don't have access to it, so you should get an email back now.
Okay.
Access. Wait, oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't like how Google does that.
No, it's annoying as hell.
Stupid. I shared a link. Obviously, I want to share it out.
Oh, but Door, you're outside of my organization, so. All right, so you should get one back.
And there's Josh's.
Should be
download.
2 files.
It's thinking about it. There you go. I only see the one, I think. Final.
One link. Oh, really?
Yep, final.ogg,
Final.og.
which is 93.9 megs.
Sure. Sounds good. Guess you can't do 2 at once there with the sharing.
That'd make too much sense.
Yeah. They were both highlighted. Oh, let's do that again, Door.
Okay. I try to reboot my Nextcloud Pi again.
Yeah, well, that was the problem. One of the problems with the external hard drive is I found that I had to reboot the Pi and then unplug the hard drive and replug it back in as well. Which
Well, I don't have to do that. My external enclosure, I have to hit the power button. It has its own power button early enough in the boot cycle, or else I have to reboot the whole damn thing over again.
sweet. Did you get that email?
I don't know. Looks like
I'll
it's the
wait
same
for it.
file. Maybe.
Oh. Should be the intro file.
No, it's final.
Oh.
Okay. I think I just requested access. And
Okay, so
there's Ivor.
all right, there we go. Yeah.
Download.
Ding dong.
Downloading Ivor.
You're still outside my organization, apparently, Door.
Okay, Ivor, yours is 95.6.
Yep,
Thanks, sir.
that's about right. No problem. Good to see you guys again. Hopefully we can do it
Very
again
good to
next
see you,
week.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Okay.
sure.
See you guys. Have a good
See you
week.
later,
Take it
man.
easy, man.
Bye.
Is he gone?
Okay, there you go. Intro. Open. I'm going to guess this is a tiny one.
Yeah.
Downloading. $195 KB. Jeez. Open on Audacity. Yep, looking right. Okay, so now close. Check this thing out again. Okay, so we go like this. 192, 168, 21. Okay, so I can access it locally, at least locally, which means I got to reboot my routers. I'm not going to do that now. I'll do that later. Okay.
Uh,
Oh man.
oh man. Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Oh jeez.
Meatball sandwich. Dang, that sounds good, Red.
What? I want a meatball sandwich.
I know. I haven't had a meatball anything for like 3 years.
Just watch meatballs, maybe.
Exactly. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. That goes through my head so often you have no idea.
I'm trying to log in again. I can't.
Oh no, can you even access the page?
Yeah, I can access the page now.
You can access the login page?
Yeah, it says that we have detected multiple invalid attempts to log in, blah blah blah. So
Okay, yeah, because I couldn't access it for the longest time. Okay, so let me go like this now.
anyway,
Let me
did you
go.
get my files? I gotta get going, man.
Yeah. I did. I'm gonna
Okay.
fix your login though, because I have to.
Okay.
It's gonna be the creds that are in the email.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank you, man.
All right, brother. Take it easy. Red. Enjoy a meatball sandwich for me, man.
Exactly.
All right.
All right, man.
See
I love you
later.
guys.
Yeah, you too.
Take it easy.
Bye. Bye.
Okay, so come here. Right. That's what I need right there. That's what I need. So come over here and say edit, bang, enter, then done. Big money, no whammies. There you go. Okay. Okay, so now we just come here and say Josh, Ivor, okay. Send them an email. Your guys' cred should work. I don't know about anything else. And in the meantime, I'm blaming Russia. Okay, so now come over here. Public audio, raw, convert 4 files, because Josh always has 2 files. Come here. Looking good. Have to do some leveling. Take it easy, Red, if you're heading out. Have to do some normalization. Not normalization. What the hell do they call it? Compression, but it's something else. I think it is normalization is what it's called. I'll tell you, some of this hardware I have runs remarkably solid for being incredibly cheap. Some of the hardware doesn't run so solid. It's kind of shocking how different everything is. Okay, so this should be the worst file. Yeah, Dyson compression is the first one we do. Enter. Then we do the normalization. Oh, gotcha, Red. Oh, so I guess you guys had pretty bad weather. It took like a day or a little bit more than a day and a half, I think, since you guys had the bad weather. And what we had was weird. It was like super loud thunder for like 3 hours in the background. And then after 3 hours, it rained like crazy. And then it like stopped raining and then it still rumbled for like another 2 hours afterwards. I've never seen that kind of storm before in my life. It was weird. Oh man. Oh yeah, I should start the YouTube upload. That takes forever. come over here and say, oh, man. Patreon. No, not Patreon. Big dummy. Studio. Upload. Okay, now first we come over here and say home, video, F2, control 2. Now sort it by date. It's the most recent one because that's how it works. Control 2, control V. This was 567. Space enter. Clean. Here. 567. That's going to take a while. Okay. So far, looking good. That's the other thing I don't like about doing long shows. The longer the show, the more likely we're going to have a issue exporting or saving. And when I saw we were going 2 hours, I ain't gonna lie, I got really nervous. I had no problems because, I've been through this before. So I knew number one rule, be patient. Click a button and wait. First off, you got to make sure after you stop recording, you hit stop and you don't touch anything for like 3 minutes. You just let it go through its whatever it has to do. Audacity can be one of those things that will make you pull your hair out. If you have any left. Okay. Audio looks good. Playlist. This is not going to go into playlist. We're going to copy this. Okay. I'm going to come over here and say, come on. Give me the keyboard. Why are you doing it? Oh, there you go. That was weird. I guess I hit one of these buttons. Some people want their power back till Saturday. Wow. Lots of trees on the road. 50,000 out. Wow, Red. That's crazy. That is crazy. What is going on with this thing, man? I think my Bluetooth started to act up on me. Buyer Brown, honestly, not for at least 3 to 4 years. He pinged me once out of the blue, basically just saying, "Hey, what's up?" And then when I replied, he didn't even reply back. He seemed, I'll just say it like this, really busy doing things that he loved doing, is the way that I'll put it. All right, I think I'm going to have to literally kill the stream and reboot this rig to get stuff working back right again. Dang it. At least I was able to finish the show. Oh, why did I say that? I don't like that. Okay, so Bluetooth keyboard that is rechargeable doesn't need batteries. Which technically means I should have no downtime. As long as I notice when the battery goes dead. Okay, so I'll try this again. The mouse is hardwired, so I'm okay to at least do that. Oh, his birthday's tomorrow. Good to know. Thank you. I'll ping him. Yeah, I got to kill the live stream. I got to reboot. This thing ain't going to work right. Up here and say, all right, guys, take it easy. Take it easy, Red.